Hey, hello, get off Facebook. I'm talking to you. Yes, hi, how's it going? Have you been on Facebook a lot recently, sitting on your bum, watching Netflix, not moving? So I'm going to show you a pre-Pilates routine, which is going to mobilize the spine, free up the chest, and make you feel pretty good, connecting your body-mind. I also use this sequence as a warm-up before freediving, as it's so low impact. It is time to move your body. My name is Anna and I'm going to guide you through this quick 20-minute sequence of spine mobility and chest opening exercises. So put the phone down, put your pants on and get on the mat. So let's begin by shaking our diaphragm to get some more blood flow to that area. So just shake up and down and let the diaphragm bounce and we'll get some more blood flow. And just move around, enjoy the movement, it should be fun. Perfect. Now we're going to engage the body by adding some more awareness. So we're going to be tapping the chest, tapping the areas that we're going to be trying to loosen up and liberate. Facial gurning, very important. Stick that tongue out. Now let's start with the shoulders. So I want you to take your fingertips and just trace along the collarbone just to bring more awareness to this area so we connect the mind and body more with the movement. And as we inhale, we're going to reach the fingertips forward. As we exhale, we slide the shoulder blade back around the rib. So inhale forward, exhale back. We're just mobilizing this shoulder. Nice. So inhale, reach forward, exhale. And now we add a little twist and open up like a book. Inhale at the back, fill the lungs. Bend the elbow and reach the fingertips forward. Nice. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale to come back, twisting, opening. Inhale into that space. The next time you reach the fingertips forward, take an inhale. And then as we exhale, we do a little bend forward just to see how we're feeling. We'll do that once more. Opening the arms, inhaling into that open lung. And then coming back with a little baby curl. Perfect. Add some shoulder rolls and then just see how your arm feels. Now we like to do the compare and contrast. You should have a bit more mobility on the arm you've just worked. Yeah, looks good. So let's switch sides. Again, run your fingers along the collarbone. Take note of that area. Some little rolls to warm up. And fingertips reach forward and exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back, sliding that shoulder blade. Inhale forward, exhale back. Now twist open, inhale into that lung. And then exhale, bend at the elbow, come forward. Inhale, reach forward, add the twist. Nice, gently mobilizing. Bend, come forward. Inhale, exhale, little baby curl. Just see how you're feeling. And then come up. We'll do once more for luck. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale with a twist. Inhale at the back. Bend the elbow, come forward. And a little curl. Nodding the head down. And then curling back up. And a few shoulder rolls. Should be a little bit more mobile. You've been sitting a lot. Good. So standing hip width apart. We're just going to turn the head to the right and to the left. And just seeing if you have any restrictions today. Now rock your weight forward and back through the feet, moving through the heels to the outside to the balls of your feet, and just figure out where your center of gravity is. You want to be about 60% forward. Reaching the arms up, taking an inhale, we're going to nod the head forward and gently curl the spine. Soften the knees if you need to, and then just peel back up again. Nice and gentle. Little extension. So let's reach up. So inhale, peeling down, just articulating the spine. And then peeling up and looking up. Inhale up, nodding down, and just peel the spine down. Keep the knees nice and soft. Bend them as much as you need to. If you're feeling a bit tight on the back line, that's okay. So bend the knees and go all the way down. Fingertips reaching forward. Legs parallel, knees in between the arms. Keep the heels lifted if you need to, and I just want you to gently rock the weight of your body forward onto the palms of your hands and then back towards the heels. So you're just feeling the skin stretching on the upper back there. And we're just warming up the wrists and the shoulders and just checking in, seeing how we feel forward and back. So the next time you rock forward, bring the knees down and come into your quadruped position. So palms under the shoulder joints and knees under the hip joints. And just get a feel for the spine and have a little wiggle and get comfortable. Move the head around, see how that feels, and try and find a neutral position. And then I want you to curl the tailbone, and we're going to push the floor away into a cat position. And then on the exhale, we'll uncurl from the pelvis again. So inhale, push the palms into the floor, curling from the tailbone up, so we're articulating the spine. Then exhale, let it drop down. Warming up the spine. Inhale, get some air into the backs of the lungs, and uncurl from the pelvis down. Looking good. Inhale up. And exhale down. The next time you come up into your cat position, I want you to hold this position, pushing the floor away, and we're just going to turn the toes, and we're just going to gently rock forward and back, keeping that nice C curve in the upper back. So pulling yourself forward and back with the hands. Good. And when the hips come back, we're just going to uncurl and do some cat-like movements. Get some mobility and articulation to the spine. Have a little wiggle forward and back, side to side. See what you have. Good. So come to a seated position, feet on the floor, knees bent, hands behind the knees, and use the knees to help you grow into a tall position so you're slightly forward of your sit bones. We're going to do some prep for assisted roll down. So let's just curl through the pelvis and explore that feeling as you roll on your sit bones. So exhale as we curl the pelvis towards the belly button, and then just come back up. Just exploring the movement, going a little bit deeper. Think about drawing the belly button to the spine when you roll back. Inhale, grow tall. And then continue rolling all the way back. Arms extended, let the feet be heavy and roll up. Grow tall again, take an inhale, and let's roll backwards on the exhale. Let the arms extend, the toes are tracing, and we roll all the way back. Bring both legs up into tabletop position, and we're just going to start stirring the right leg, thigh bone into the hip sockets, seeing how that feels today, and a few circles the opposite way. And the opposite leg, mini circles like a little searchlight moving out of the pelvis. And then we can experiment with some figures of 8. Okay, so plant both feet on the floor with knees parallel. And we're just going to rock and roll through the back of the pelvis, and then try and curl the pelvis, so tailbone creeping around to belly button as you exhale, sending the knees towards the wall. And we should come up into this nice bridge position. And then we exhale and we roll back down again. So we're curling the pelvis, opening up the front of the hip flexors. And we exhale, we soften through the breastbone and we come back down. So as we're peeling up here, you can see the knees are staying parallel. And then soften through the chest bone, and we melt the spine, creating length as we roll down. So have your arms on the floor now, and feel the weights of the back of the arms supporting you a little bit. And when you're up in this position, your heels and your buttocks should be activated. So there's a little bit of work going through the back line of the body there. So exhale, curl up through the spine. When we get to the top here, we're going to do some little hip drops. So you're trying to empty sand out of your pockets here. So we're just adding a bit of rotation through the spine. And then we can drop down a couple of vertebrae, and we can do a few more hip drops. So exhale as you come up again. Stay up in your bridge, and we're going to arc the arms behind us. Exhale and lengthen the spine as we lay it down on the floor, and you'll get a great stretch here. Then bring the arms back down. Exhale, come back up, send the knees away, float the arms up behind you in an arc, and exhale, let's lengthen and roll down and uncurl that pelvis. Should feel pretty good. Now slide one leg out with the foot flexed and bring the knee into the chest, and let's do some ankle rotation and just hold the knee close into the chest and just notice how the knee and the bone of the shin feels. Get a nice stretch, and we'll switch legs. So we're lengthening out that opposite hip flexor, and we're just gonna warm up this ankle as well. Now place both feet onto the floor with the hands gently resting on the pelvis, and we're just going to drop one leg out at a time so the pelvis is going to stay quite stable. So we're just moving the knees out as far as it's comfortable, just getting a bit of movement in the hip there. So stretch out the arms and marry the legs together and raise up onto your toes, and we'll do some window wipers here. So we're going to drop the knees together side to side, so we're adding a bit of really nice rotation in the lower spine. Keeping the shoulders on the floor, so only go as far as you can without losing that good stability across the shoulders. You can inhale to lift and to lower, or the opposite. If it's too much load, just open the legs and lift one leg at a time. Now continue lowering the legs to your left side, and we're just going to stay on the floor in this twist and breathe into the exposed lung and just enjoy a little bit of twist and rotation you have going on here. Take it easy. And lifting one leg at a time, we're just going to rotate to the other side. You can look in the opposite direction to exaggerate the twist a little bit more. So really take this time to breathe a little bit deeper into the lungs, so you can try and open the exposed rib cage out a bit more, so we can get a bit more flexibility in the thoracic chest area. So keeping on the same side, let's roll onto your side with the knees bent 90-90 and just prop your head up with a cushion or your arm. You want to have be smoothing the hip out so the hips are stacked. So just gently make sure there's a little bit of gap of light on the bottom waist where the floor is. So the hand behind the head, and we're going to do some rotation above the waist. So inhale and open the arm, and we're just going to rotate, and then inhale and exhale to come back. So inhale to open and exhale to twist, taking the gaze with the elbow if you can, and then do the reverse, closing. So reach out the arm, the fingertips, and we're going to make an arc with the fingertips and open. So the collarbone's in a nice long line with the arm. So inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky, and exhale to close. Brilliant. So we're getting a really nice fluid rotation through the spine here. Now let's change the movement up a little bit and add a windmill. So we're just going to windmill the arm over the face. Exhale to lower the arm, inhale to lift, and go the opposite way. And just rotating and spiraling, see how that feels. Great, so we're done this side. So let's swing the legs around and try not to get up like an old lady. And we're going to do some book openings on the opposite side. So we've got to get our stack, our setup nice and correct. So the knees bent, 90 degrees at the hip and the knees, and supporting the head, so the head's in line with the spine. And let's just recheck our waist is nice and long and our hips are stacked. Hand behind the head, and we're just gonna twist and open. Inhale, exhale. Good. Keeping the hips quiet, trying not to move the pelvis, and just allowing a nice twist happen above the waist. Now reaching the hands long, we're going to paint a rainbow with our fingertips. Inhale, exhale to lower. Inhale to reach up, exhale to close. Do this once more. Reach the arm long, inhale up, exhale lower. Great, perfect. Just rolling and opening that chest. Let's add that windmill, so the arm over the face and sweeping across the top of the legs there. So we're moving the air around us. Perfect. Fluid, beautiful movement. Really nice. So come up into your quadruped position and lower yourself onto the floor face down. And we're going to do a little bit of Crone Extension work just to loosen up the top of the back a bit there. So head resting on the hands stacked, and just lengthen the crease out where the hips are and tilt the pelvis down so we've got a nice good anchor or a bit of weight across the hips to support the lower spine. And we're going to lift the head and then just lift up the legs slightly to see how that feels. Maybe float up both if you're feeling good in the lower spine. And then lower the head down. So on an inhale, we'll take the gaze forward and we're just going to push the elbows into the floor and get a little bit of movement in the top of the thoracic spine. And just feel the connection of the arm into the armpit. Now, if you're feeling good in your lower spine, you can open the hands a bit more out wider and maybe lift up a bit higher and push the floor away so we have more of the bottom ribs getting heavy into the floor. So we have a little bit of extension here, just a little bit. Take your gaze up into the corners of the room. See how that feels. A little bit of gentle movement in the head and neck there. Now bring the hands under the shoulders, elbows close to the body, and just push yourself up into your child's pose. Open the knees if you need to and tuck the toes, give yourself a little stretch. Now let's just go through that undulation, that spine articulation of that lazy cat stretch. So just reaching the arms away and just move in the spine, wiggle around. Perfect. Okay, so let's finish up with some mermaid stretches. So we're going to sit with your front leg bent in front of you and your other leg bent behind you. If one of your hips is hiking because you're a bit tight in the hips, use a block or a cushion or a book just so you can raise the hips up so you can be level, so we can get a nice tall spine. So take a deep breath and reach the arm out and bend over to the front knee. And we sweep over to the opposite side, so beautifully flowing. Push your opposite arm into the floor and try and send the opposite hip away and rotate down and look at the floor. Counter stretch. And exhale down, rotate, bring in the outside hand, open up the hands and push the floor away. And use this pushing of the floor to breathe deeply in between the shoulder blades so we can add a bit of stretch to the top of the spine. Take an inhale and pull the floor towards you and then pull the floor away from you. So we're adding a little bit of movement and articulation into the spine and allow the back hip to come off. We get out of the movement the same way we came in. So untwist and float back over. And a few counter stretches. Should feeling pretty good. Oh dear, here we go. Graceful. Didn't see that? Right, opposite side. Clothing adjustment. Well done. Carry on. So when we're ready, check in your hips, nice and level. And we're going to inhale up and bend over to the front knee. And then exhale over. The next time we go over, use the floor to help you. Twist. So inhaling to get some height and then exhaling over, twisting, bring that hand down, open the palms a bit more and push the floor away and breathe in between the shoulders, yeah? Then we're going to take a nice inhale and we're going to roll forward. Start at the pelvis and we're just going to get a little bit more mobility and use the floor to help you, that connection. Inhaling and then exhaling, letting that hip come off. Looking really good. So let's come out of the movement the way we came in and just finish on a few floaty side sweeps, like you're a piece of seaweed. Good. So we are pretty much done now. So let's finish up on a breathing exercise and come down into a child's pose. Use a block or a cushion if you can't get your head to the floor or it's too uncomfortable for you. Whatever's comfortable. I just want you to feel the weight of the lungs resting on the thighs. You can place the hands on the rib cage and just breathe deep. Try and push the rib cage into the hands. Nice and slow, and it's super relaxing, and just enjoy a few rounds of deep breathing here. keeping the eyes closed, come up to a seated position and just notice how you're feeling and take a few moments to really congratulate yourself. Well done today. So Om Shanti, my lovely bitches. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos and I'll see you next time.